Hi everybody, welcome to another GoTechUp4School tutorial video. In this episode, we are going to venture through the tutorial for level 14. Now in level 14, what's special about this level is that students will be able to use IR photo reflectors to pass through this level. Now if you read the tutorial, the levels require the student to use the IR photo reflector to detect the walls or the gate in order to not crash into them, as well as open the gate when they are close enough to them. Okay, now how do we do that? First things first is to take note is on your bottom, on your right side of the screen, the IR photo reflector distance. As you can see, the here distance is currently 8.2 centimeters. Now this is the answer for it, but let's move on and let's do some testing first, or we can do step by step. Now first step, what you usually do is that first we need to gauge the distance on when do we want to robot to stop. So what we can do first things first is let's set up a normal, okay, let's set up a normal movement code to test out our theory. Okay, so as you can see here, when I press play, please pay attention to the number here, the distance 8.2 centimeters. When you press play, you can see the numbers decrease. And when you get close enough, the door opens. So now, as the door opens, number will increase. So you have to take note fast on what is the proper distance that you want to use to stop the robot. Okay, so let's test it again. Okay, as you can see, anything that is less than 2 should be okay. But just to be safe, because when the robot is traveling fast. If you brake hard anyways, sometimes it takes time for the robot to brake to a full stop. So for this part, let's just take the number 5. So where does this 5 coming from? Is from this distance. So basically what we're trying to do now is we're trying to tell the robot, whenever you reach the distance under 5 centimeter, stop. Okay, so now let's throw this away and let's throw here. Now as you can see here, there are three different codes here we can see. First is the forever code and two if codes. Okay, now let's start by putting the forever block first. Now what does the forever block do? What the forever block does is that when a code runs, it will run forever and ever and ever. So example, if I put this, okay, the robot will move up and down, up and down. It will keep reading the code until you tell them to stop. Because if you don't put the forever, what will happen is that the robot will only read the code once. Okay, now we want this to be a repetitive process. We always want the robot to be checking, are we in the right distance? Are we in the right distance? Are we in the right distance? Okay, so we will leave this here. Now, next, since this level requires the student to use the IR photo reflector to stop when seeing a wall and move when not seeing a wall, we have to create what we call conditional formatting. All right. So from here, what I will tell my students is to take a piece of paper and write down the scenario. Okay. If you see a wall, break. If you don't see a wall, don't break. And move on and don't break. Okay. So you can see that there's two scenarios, there's two ifs. Now, let's bring up the two ifs here. Okay, as you can see here, this one is for the movement when there's no wall. This is the block when there is a wall. All right. So as you can see here, what we did was, if I dismantle this back again, okay, what we took here from the block is we took the if then block first, and then we go to our operator. So you can see here there's two operators, less than, more than. What we can do is we drag one and then we slip it into the proper sizing. Next, we want to use the IR photo reflector as a sensor. So we take one block of IR photo reflector. Now it is up to you whether you want to put it on the left or to the right. It is up to your preference as long as you understand. Okay, now when you read this code in human language or pseudocode, it will be if the IR photo reflector detects, if the IR photo reflector's value is less than 5, then what do? So from here, we want to tell the robot if they reach at least when the distance goes under 5 centimeter, we want it to stop immediately. So this is where we put the command to brake. Now this is for the command to stop, but we need to put another command which is to go when there's no wall, which comes to the second if command here. So in this one, it is almost the same, but you can see the symbol is different. This is less than, this is more than. So if we change this to pseudocode language, it would be if the value of IR photoreflector is more than 5 centimeter, because we want this to imagine if there is no wall, then move forward. Okay, now let's put it in. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so remember, you have to put this inside the forever's mouth to make sure that it keeps doing. So what will happen is that when we press play, the code will go up and down, up and down, up and down, keep checking whether the condition has been fulfilled or not. Okay, so let's click play. Let's see. So what will happen is if the robot reaches under 5, it will break. And if it's more than 5, it will keep moving as well. All right. And when we do, we reach the finish line. Now, remember, you need to create a certain distance for the robot to not crash into the wall. Because if you do crash into the wall, the level will be reset and you will be starting back at the starting point. So always keep a safe distance between the robot and the wall. Close enough so that it'll open, but not far enough that it will not open. Okay? Right, so let's do this again. Let's see. One get down, it's more than 5 centimeters, so I'll move on. When it's hit 5, they will break again. All right. So that's how we solve level 14. All right. So thank you so much, and I will see you for level 15.